Very good morning, dear children. Welcome back. Today I am going to tell you The River Adventure, written by Anil Bladen. Like the Sea of Adventure, this book begins with Jack, Philip, Dina, and Lucy Ann unable to return to school at the start of term because of illness. They are in convalescence after having influenza, and the doctor has advised Mrs. Mannering that they should go away on holiday for a while. When Bill is suddenly called away to keep an eye on a man called Raya Uma, of whom the government are suspicious, he suggests taking his wife and the children with him and posing as a family man. The six of them fly to an unspecified Middle Eastern location, somewhere from the borders of Syria, where they set off on a river trip on a small motor launch driven by a native named Thala. The river is called the River of Abanja, leading Philip to dub it the River of Adventure. As they travel, Bill stops at various towns to make enquiries about Raya Uma and report back to headquarters. He knows that in the past, Raya Uma has been involved with gun running, spying, and smuggling, but no one seems certain what he is up to now. The voyage along the river is peaceful at first, and the children enjoy looking at the people, animals, and birds around them. This is from a children's Bible. Some of Blyton's descriptions are beautiful, though concise as ever. The darkness came suddenly, as it always does in southern countries. Stars shone out, large and mysterious and very, very bright. The river turned black and silver, and held as many stars as were in the sky. Bill is dumbfounded when they come on night to Sydney town, a city of lights and noise, which is not marked on the map at all. Only when morning comes does he realize that city is a film set, and that most of the buildings consist of false friends. It is at Saint Town that the children watch a snake charmer, and Philip becomes angry when he notices that the poor snakes, poisonous barguas, have had their mouths sewn up. A little later, Philip and others save the snake charmer's boy attendant, Ula, from being beaten by his master, and the Ula makes his way to the children's lounge that night. He is determined to work for Philip, whom he addresses as Lord, and Bill finally gives him permission to stay and work with Thala. Ula presents Philip with a bargua which has had its poisonous ducats cut. Philip knows that is cruel as it means that the snake will die within a few weeks, but he agrees to look after it in the meanwhile. To Bill's surprise, Raya Uma himself turns up at the lounge one night for a chat. Raya Uma tells Bill that he makes money in Sydney town through his interest in films and uses the money to pursue his chief interest, which is archaeology. It is obvious that he has heard that Bill has been inquiring about him. The children follow tunnels leading out of the cavern and stumble eventually upon the underground remains of a magnificent temple dating from about 7,000 years ago. The temple was erected in honor of a goddess, and kings and noblemen brought treasures there for generations. Many items have perished, but the glorious treasures that remain include gold statues, bowls, combs, jewelry, ornaments, and daggers, rather like the treasure discovered in the ship of adventure. Bill is proud of the children for what they have done, emphasizing that ancient and fascinating items like those found in the temple belong not to any individual but to the world. By the way, this book was published in 1955, a couple of years after the coronation of Queen Elizabeth II. It is noticeable that Clever Kiki now says God save the Queen instead of God save the King. The ending of the book, which is the final title in the series, is fitting as we catch a glimpse of the four children as young adults. Mrs. Cunningham says that the treasure-filled temple will be excavated over the next 5 or 6 years, and Philip promises Ula, who with his qualities of loyalty and courage has been as astonishing a find as any of the treasures in the temple, that they will return in a few years to see how he is getting on and to view the treasures when they have been put on display. By then, the children will all be in their late teens or early 20s, and all are likely to be working, studying, and traveling. Philip will be working with animals, and all four will retain a love of travel, a respect for nature, and above all, a spirit of adventure. Thank you, children. See you in the next module.